We are driving the 2019 Hyundai Kona Iron Man edition. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to go over every inch of the vehicle and what makes it so darn Iron Man. But first, information explosion! I feel like given the comic book theme of the vehicle, the information explosion feels more kind of on brand than normal. It is properly explosive. Sweetie, for $500, tell me, how much more expensive is the Iron Man version of the Kona than the next highest trim?
Ooh, that's a tough one because there is so much that is different about this vehicle, but I don't know if they actually factor in what it really cost them to make this. And also, I have no idea what this vehicle costs. So I'm going to say 15 grand more?
Wow. You are really far off by a magnitude of 5. With that wildly incorrect guess lodged, let's talk about the interior. Iron Man features be damned. This is just a Hyundai Kona where dimensions are concerned. So for this interior section, we're not going to talk about style. We're just going to talk about the pragmatic stuff. The back seat in the Hyundai Kona is a little bit tight, but it's a subcompact SUV. So for the category, it's totally fine. Cargo space, not so bad. I think it's a workable amount of space if you know what you're getting into. From a driver comfort perspective, I sit well here. It's easy for me to have a nice driving position. You get that command view of the road from the seat. You can kind of see why people buy SUVs because it feels like a little bit higher up. It's nice. One more driver comfort note, I guess it also qualifies for the front passenger too, but lumbar support, I've got two-way adjustment and it is an adequate amount of lumbar support. And as a guy who likes a lot of lumbar support, that's quite the accomplishment. Well done, Kona. How about you? Do you have lumbar support over there?
I don't know.
It'll be a two-way little rocker switch aft of the, well, you're still reaching, I'm guessing.
I don't think I have
No
it.
lumbar support for my sweetie. Rear window test. I am Iron Man. Armrest snob that I am, let's test the armrest a little bit low. If they were just a little bit higher, I could do the proper 8 and 4 comfort thing. But I will say that they are really nicely padded, so I can kind of barely perch my elbows on the armrest, and that works okay. I'm going to give that 2 elbows right to the middle region right here. Style! As we ease into style, let me remind you to like and subscribe, assuming you like this and would like to see more of this kind of stuff. If you don't like it, just shut along, please. Normally in style, we talk about the exterior design, but this time we're going to talk about the entire comprehensive overhaul that is the Iron Man Edition Kona, and mercy, is it comprehensive. I'm kind of blown away by how thorough they were with making this Iron Man.
It's definitely left the realm of car and reached toy.
Let's start with the paint. Okay, matte gray, and then you've got red on the roof, and then you've got the red mirrors. That's fine. You've got some dark chrome accents. All right, that seems pretty achievable. And then you got all the Iron Man masks, the little Iron Man mask badges all around. That's getting pretty detailed. Then if you look on the front, it literally says Iron Man, and then on the back it does the exact same thing. That's a lot of stuff. Oh, but we're just beginning.
I literally laughed aloud when I saw my first Iron Man logo. It's so unexpected.
It's a lot to absorb. If you look at the front and rear fascias, those have been redesigned to make it look racier and more Iron Man-y. The LED running lights, they're Iron Man stylized too.
And in case you didn't know that, they actually say Iron Man on them.
Yeah, lest you be confused, this is the Iron Man Kona. I've seen other special edition vehicles where they will like throw a badge and a little paint or something like that. I cannot stress how much effort they put into this. For example, reworking the hood so it could say Marvel on it. That is absurd. That is an insane level of effort just to make the version of this Kona that looks more like Iron Man. And then, of course, we've got the two-tone wheels. They're 18 inches. What I really like is that Hyundai calls them iron grip 18-inch wheels. We are committing to a theme. It's got all that grippy tire action. And then you peek inside. The cavalcade of Iron Man details continues relentlessly. Let's talk about the seats. What do you think about the seats, sweetie?
They don't stand out to me in any way. Should they?
Are you joking?
The design of them or how they feel?
I'm going to lean forward 6 inches and you tell me. Notice anything different?
I do.
That is a very distinct design. You got the Iron Man head, you've got the Stark logo, you've got an Iron Man tag, you have red piping and red stitching. It's all leather. That is an amazing amount of effort just for the seats. If all they had done was the seats, it'd be like, well, that's a pretty complete Iron Man Hyundai Kona. But no, there's more. Of course, there's the continuity with the red. You got the red seat belts. One more detail that they did not need to put that effort in, and yet they did. You've got red surrounds around the gear selector, and then the gear selector itself has an Iron Man inspired badge. I think that might be the... Okay, this is the part of the video where I have to come clean. I don't know much about the Marvel Universe. Yeah, I've seen a couple of the movies, but was that an arc reactor? I think it's an arc reactor inspired shift lever. And then you get the red stitching on the steering wheel, the red surrounds on the vents. In the gauge cluster, I feel like I've been talking a really long time about the things that make this the Iron Man Kona, and there's still more to talk about. Quick interruption, this video went live on Christmas Eve 2019 because the Iron Man Kona is like the most toy-like car I could possibly think of. As our Christmas gift to you, we're participating in a laptop giveaway with Andy the Lab and Savage Geese. Can you say Savage Geese?
Savage Geese.
Can you say Andy the Lab?
Andy the Lab.
Very nice. To enter in the giveaway, all you have to do is click the link in the description below and go subscribe to their channels. You probably should be subscribed to Savage Geese and Andy the Lab already. Maybe Micah drives as well. We're giving away 8 laptops. You've got multiple chances to enter. The whole contest ends on January 12th, and she's standing. By the way, all that cool B-roll was shot by Deb. That's Andy the Lab's dog mommy. It's probably the nicest her channel has ever looked. And now back to the GoPros. The gauge cluster has the, I think, arc reactor inspired readout there, in the tach and the speedometer.
And you haven't even mentioned this Tony Stark signature. Like, that's not for you, the driver, the person who purchased this car. That's clearly to impress the passenger.
Well, are you impressed? At some point in the design discussion, they were figuring out where they should put that Tony Stark thing, and they thought, you know what? One of these days, the owner's going to get somebody in that passenger seat that really going to want to dazzle them. So let's put it over there. Give a little eye candy to the passenger. That's just for you, baby. It's impossible to stress how much effort they put into making this an Iron Man vehicle. You can just tack on badges, and you can swap out materials and add paint and that kind of stuff. But they're not done. In the information display, when you start the vehicle, there's Iron Man related visuals. The same thing appears in the head-up display. And then rounding the whole thing off, they actually had to rework the infotainment system to give it this Iron Man motif. They didn't have to do that. Why did they do that? That is so much effort. I don't know, sweetie. I'm kind of blown away by how much effort they put in to making this the Iron Man Kona.
You've often said that as autonomous vehicles become more prominent, that companies will have to add other features to pull in people. Is this the future of automotive design?
This very well may be the future. Yeah, as driving becomes less of an activity that people care about, style is going to come on strong, and this is certainly some of that.
So right about now, I can't go to the movies without there being at least one Marvel franchise in there. Am I not going to be able to buy a non-Marvel franchise vehicle?
Yeah, exactly. I hope you like something with the Scarlett Johansson theme, because it's coming to a vehicle near you. In motion! And yes, I recognize I entered the in motion segment while completely motionless, but we're just going to hang here for a second. And while we are hanging, I'm going to point out that this is an all-wheel drive Kona. What's special about all-wheel drive is that there's a torsion beam rear suspension in the normal front drive Kona, but this one has an independent rear suspension because of all-wheel drive. Let's put it to the test with some action, and needles full throttle acceleration. Actually, I mean, that got the power to the ground and pretty darn zippy. This is exactly the same as like the Ultimate trim. It's basically the same thing. It's not like this is faster, but it's already pretty quick. That's a pretty nice handling subcompact SUV experience. What you wouldn't want is to have a bunch of Iron Man paraphernalia attached to a slow car, because that would be kind of embarrassing. That's one of the things I've noted about the Kona, is that it is fun to drive. And when I say fun to drive, I mean fun to drive for a subcompact SUV. Needless full throttle acceleration. Whee! Pretty quick downshift, nice pull. The 1.6 liter turbocharged engine has plenty of power. I'm going to show you something that is a little bit less dazzling. Low speed drivability. Now, I don't know if this is going to be obvious to you, but dual clutch transmissions struggle a little bit in this slow speed space because they have an actual clutch. So the car's trying to manage the clutch like a human would, but that can be hard because, you know, humans are kind of smart when they're not being so stupid. So low speed drivability is not ideal with a 7-speed dual clutch, but hey, you're living that Iron Man life, you're not going to lope along. You'll enjoy some needless full throttle acceleration when there's a gap in traffic, and there is now. Whee!
I'm flying!
And of course, just like the rest of the Kona line, for around town driving and just normal commuting duty, ride quality is just fine. Sweetie, do your kidneys hurt?
No, are they about to?
No, they don't. That's a pretty good sign that the ride is reasonably smooth. Emotion factor. I don't know, man. This is more of a Marvel thing. Can I have like a little music lead up? Emotion factor. Sweetie, do you think there's an emotion factor to the Iron Man Kona?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There's a strong emotion factor to this car.
Especially if you like Iron Man.
Even if I don't care about Iron Man, but I love that something like this exists.
It's nice to live in a world where this is possible. And I'm also going to point out that even if you don't like Iron Man, it's pretty rare to be able to buy a vehicle that is utterly distinct. You know, usually when you think of cars that have a real presence, an undeniable presence, you think of expensive or very fast cars. This is a very accessibly priced car that no one else is going to have, though heaven help you the one time you do see the other Iron Man Kona, oh, that's going to be awkward.
Is it limited release? Because that would be, you know, really awkward.
Yeah, in fact, they made it for 2019, and I don't believe there's going to be a 2020 version. I mean, then again, maybe that frees up some capacity to make a Hawkeye Hyundai Kona, little arrows everywhere. I want to see that. Remarks! It's been 3 to 5 minutes since I told you to like and subscribe, so please like and subscribe. In terms of family friendliness, what do we think about the Hyundai Kona?
It seems family friendly beyond its utility. Like, it seems like your kids would like it.
Oh yeah, like every drive to the Albertsons is an adventure.
Until they reach a certain age, in which case might not.
This is age dependent. Yeah, like if our daughter were like 14 and I showed up to pick her up at school in this, that'll either be the best thing or the worst thing in her life.
It depends on the kid.
On a family friendliness note, a subcompact SUV, but I think we could have used this cargo space to accommodate a stroller when we were using that. There's 2 easily accessible latch points in back, and then the upper tethers right over the top, pretty accessible. So I think it's pretty darn usable. I dub the Hyundai Kona Iron Man family friendly. As mentioned previously when you got the $500 question wrong, this is about $3,000 more than the Hyundai Kona Ultimate trim, which means it gets all the stuff that the Ultimate would get. So you've got wireless phone charging, automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, all the stuff. 8-inch infotainment system with Iron Man details. So it's a very well-equipped vehicle. In fact, I'm still kind of baffled how they did all that cool Iron Man stuff for only $3,000. It doesn't really make sense, and they can't sell enough of these things to justify the investment. It boggles the mind. One complaint, and this doesn't just apply to the Iron Man version, but the keyless access system, you have to push a button instead of just touching the door handle, and as a lazy man, that shocked gasp is well justified. Countering my own argument, if you look at the key is something you should use. In fact, if there's a problem, it's the fact that it has keyless access and you won't have to pull the key out. The key is very Iron Man.
Driving up to all the valets just so you can show them your cool key.
Yeah. Hey, valet, keep it close. And when returning to the valet, let's say you've had a nice evening out with your special Marvel-loving lady, one thing you may notice, again, this is not a daytime thing, is that there are illuminated greeting lighting things down by the front doors with... you were concerned you weren't going to get enough Iron Man masks in the Hyundai Kona Iron Man? Well, there's lighting details to really round things out.
I like how they don't just let the imagery speak for itself either. It says Iron Man all over this thing.
Yeah, lest you be confused that the global phenomenon and multi-billion-dollar movie franchise, you just want to be sure that people really understand where you're coming from. I mean, it could only be more Iron Man if there was just like an audible thing, with a Tony Stark voice saying, I am Iron Man.
No, I'm sad that's not a part of it.
Okay, yeah, future Evie, do this. I am Iron Man. And then just loop that, add a little bit, maybe like a robot. I am Iron Man. One last complaint. The premium audio system is an Infinity premium audio system, and a real missed opportunity there, considering how thorough the rest of the design is. That should have been the Infinity Stone premium audio system. Ooh, swing and a miss. So close. Do you know about Hyundai Konas or the Hyundai Kona Iron Man edition? If there's any remarks we missed, tell us in the comment section. Conclusion! In synopsizing the essence of the Hyundai Kona Iron Man, I think about how incredibly detailed and thorough the execution is. It's a wonder to behold. I also think about that it's a little bit polarizing and may not be for everybody. To me, the essence of the Kona Iron Man is Wes Anderson.
It's not Iron Man?
You'd think it'd be Iron Man, but no. Ironically, it's Wes Anderson.
What?
Incredibly detailed. You watch the Darjeeling Limited or the Grand Budapest Hotel. So many little tiny details that he didn't have to go to all that effort. He could have made a perfectly fine movie without all that stuff.
They didn't have to repaint the boxes.
Didn't have to repaint the boxes, and yet there they were. And at the same time, you loved it. I didn't give it. Polarizing. Oh God, can you imagine if Wes Anderson made an Iron Man movie? Wait a second. Maybe they had Wes Anderson make this Iron Man car. I'm not interested in the movie, but I will make you a car. Lastly, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. When we hit 100,000 subs, I will review a windowless white van. And just to keep you enticed, at 50,000 subs, I'm going to reveal a terrible dark secret about my hair. Ooh, what could it be? Ooh. The sun's going down on us. Good night, everybody. I love you. I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man.